right. Thank you so much for tuning into the Weekend Wrap. My name is Corey. It is May 9th, 2021. Sorry that I was a little bit late getting going here this evening. I basically did the entire show and then realized that my YouTube, where it links into OBS, did not capture. So I apologize about that. But with no further ado, let's get going here. All right, so in the news, then this is a pretty big development. So a cyber attack shut down the largest pipeline in the United States, which runs between Texas and New Jersey. This pipeline supplies 45% of the gas and fuel for the entire East Coast. Thus far, oil has gapped up in the overnight session and is currently trading at 65.36. This is as of about an hour ago. Asian shares also jumped up this morning on hopes that reduced inflationary pressures will bring down the risk of rising interest rates. Also, last week's non-farm payrolls was arguably the biggest shock in terms of economic data in the last 6 months. So the U.S., which had expected, I think it was around 700,000 or 900,000 new jobs expected to have been created in April, we put out, I think, around 200K or a little over that. Which is insane. And unemployment surprisingly ticked higher, and this is clearly reflected in the US dollar's continued decline. In other news, the second wave of COVID in India has been killing nearly 4,000 people a day, which is absolutely tragic, with daily new cases topping around 300,000. The country is in dire need of medical assistance, and Biden continues talks of potentially waiving patent rights. Dogecoin also dropped substantially just prior to Elon appearing on SNL. The massive rally and subsequent sell-off suggests that it was primarily being held by weak or weaker hands. It currently approaches a low-volume node and its must-hold level of 50 cents in order to have any further chance at a rally. In other crypto news, Ethereum approaches 4,000 and Bitcoin is closing back in on 60K. Also, you can see on the chart here on the left, this shows the commodities data for the last year, and I just wanted to point this out because I mean this is the highest commodities have been since I think 2011, and you can see up there at the top that's the price of lumber. So that has a lot to do with why housing prices are at, I wouldn't say all-time highs, but they are really, really hot right now for housing. Also, iron, copper, and corn, surprisingly, has been really strong so far. So, yeah, commodities are definitely pretty hot right now. All right, so here's what's going on the calendar for this week. Tomorrow we have nothing major. Tuesday, the JOLTS job openings. Wednesday, we've got the core CPI and crude oil inventories. Thursday, initial jobless and the PPI. Friday, core retail sales as well as normal retail sales. If you don't know what core retail sales are, it's just the regular retail sales, is not including cars, basically. Okay, and then here is the historical data for the last year for all of these economic calendar events. All right, so in terms of earnings this week, we've got JD.com, Duke, Marriott, and Occidental reporting Monday. Tuesday, we've got Electronic Arts. Wednesday, nothing major. Thursday, Walt Disney and Nordstrom. And Friday, sorry for the typo, again, nothing major. That being said, though, I'm going to start including some smaller but more actively traded companies, just so, because I know we've got like Roblox and so we've got Roblox and who is it? Airbnb reporting this week, as well as Toyota and Nissan. But their market caps are quite a bit smaller, so therefore I didn't include them. As far as on the IPO calendar for this week, again, another typo. It's not April 29th, this Thursday. So we've got Flora Growth Corp. They make cannabis oils as well as food and beverages. We also have Enact Holdings Inc., who provides mortgage insurance. Global E Online. So they are an e-commerce company that works cross-border, so you can order from like Japan or China or Germany or whatever. And then lastly, you have SimilarWeb, who does web business-based analytics. All right, here is the sector analysis for last week. So you can see the big players: Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Tesla, Facebook, all either in the red or flat. So yeah, I mean things for the last week, last 30 days or so have been upward to sideways for the indexes as a whole. You can see financials, healthcare, industrials, energies, basic materials, all were really strong last week. And here's the last month. Same sectors that I just said a moment ago are pretty much leading the pack right now, with the big players largely flat. Okay, and here's what's going on for the S&P as you know so far in the overnight session. So the overnight session quickly took out Friday's high, which was actually yeah. So this is a Friday created a breakout on the larger time frame. I'll show you that here in just a second. But we took out Friday's high, creating a new all-time high for the S&P. So although large institutional activity generally does not trade during the overnight session or cannot trade during the overnight session, new all-time highs suggest at a minimum a short time frame uptrend. Short time frame meaning like 3 to 5 days. So my bias is long going into tomorrow for the time being. The Nasdaq is like flat as can be though, just the day time frame trading there as it stands. So no big players to be had. Okay, so here's the 1 hour chart for the S&P, so you can see how bullish it was on Thursday and Friday, shown here and here. This whole chunk right here has been the large area balance for about the last month, and you can see that we are breaking out of it. And that is most clearly reflected by the daily chart right here. So here's the area balance that I was referring to. So basically, I'm just looking for this red line right here, which I believe is 42.12 to hold. And if we should fall back into this area balance, though, that would not be good and might imply long liquidation and a very fast sell-off. So just be mindful. We want to see this previous pivot high hold. All right, so here are my setups for the week. Note that I am no longer reviewing last week's. I just want to get through this stuff quickly for you guys, and doing these is a lot of work. So, this is Fluidigm Corp, and essentially they sold off really hard, and then big money came back in and just drove it right back up again, and they've been continuing to buy. We are approaching the supply zone, however, so essentially. We're gonna get selling here regardless. Profit taking at a minimum. So I am looking for a potential breakout. However, this has not. I mean, we have not seen any inventory rebalancing yet, except for maybe this day right here, where they might have balanced it a little bit. So I don't know if we're gonna need a balance here before breaking out, but the potential is definitely there. This is Atasa Therapeutics. So you can see that we just broke out of this previous area balance right here. So things are looking quite strong. Because we closed on a spike, it has yet to be confirmed. So basically, I'm looking for about 260 to hold. But as long as it does, we're breaking out of containment, and therefore we've got big money potentially starting a new trend. And last but not least, we have Epizyme right here. So we've got weak highs all over the place. So essentially, I'm looking for a potential breakout right here. And you can see how quickly price traded in this area. So it stands, although we are, this was a very aggressive move upward. So to get continued aggression on that scale would be very unlikely. I mean, we're already at 2 standard deviations right here. I think this is a fairly safe target, and it's also a weak high, so we could potentially break through it too. So again, as it stands, I'm bullish biased, and I'm looking for Monday to kick off, potentially an immediate uptrend. And I'll be watching continued developments regarding the pipeline, which suggests that energies may be volatile in the morning. So, also one thing I forgot to mention: the fuselage from the Chinese rocket did land. It was in Southeast Asia, and fortunately, I think it landed in the water. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you guys. So, also, I want to apologize for not having been around for the morning brief so much in the past week. I'm actually going to be focusing primarily on equities and options for the foreseeable future. Stepping away from futures a little bit. I'm looking to start trading a little bit more passively and a little bit lower stress. So yeah, scalping the Nasdaq and crude oil and everything else can do that to you after a while. But anyways, I am most definitely looking forward to it. And yeah, anyways, thanks again for your tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next time.